Dial Models Workshop.
Hi, it's Yeji.
And Clint.
Hey, it's Larry. You are entering Models Workshop After Hours, a modeling podcast where we talk about miniatures, model painting, and we cuss a lot. If you can be offended, we're probably going to offend you. Then you're going to laugh, and you're going to feel bad. And then we'll offend you again, and then you'll laugh again. You see the pattern. So kick out, sit back, grab your brush, grab your paints, and get ready to have some fun. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Models Workshop After Hours, the show that will probably completely and absolutely make you blush, but you're going to laugh doing it, and that's the important part. So we have the normal crew back. Yeji decided not to send the Clint Meister on any secret missions this time, so it's not just the two of us boring the shit out of you.
Well, that was a good little secret mission. Made money.
Well, I would hope so. That's kind of the purpose of secret missions. If you're not making money, it don't make sense, man.
Wait, what was the secret mission?
Getting that signature.
Oh, okay.
She don't remember.
I don't remember shit. It was 2 weeks ago, and I had a very exciting 10 days.
I'm the fucking forgetful one in this group, and I remember that you sent him on a mission. What? No, well, to be fair, what I'm forgetful on is names. I can't remember a name to save my life, but pretty much everything else I can kind of remember. So you will probably hear some stomping around. My kids are upstairs because it's my youngest birthday party tomorrow. So they're like, we want to sleep in the living room for no reason at all. And Yeji and Clint have their summer guests in the house. So you'll probably hear little voices there too.
Yeah, that's why I was like, go away, Larry. Go away. I don't want to do this shit today.
Well, I've had a pretty shitty week, so bite me. Actually, my week was going good until, last night. Totally, last night. But what have you guys been working on this last week or so?
I haven't been working on anything because I've been away. I was in Missouri for 10 days. I got back on late Wednesday night. And then yesterday and today I've been doing housework and getting the kids going to the library and getting more food, just tons of stuff like that.
Yeah, because they're teenagers now, aren't they? Or damn close.
Very close.
Yeah, once you hit that teenage, trust me, oh my god, my poor food bill. I can't even afford to feed my kids anymore. I swear, they're eating me out of house and home.
Back and it's driving me batshit crazy.
But, so what about you, Mr. Bachelor? What were you doing?
Oh, I actually finished up a ton of Malifaux.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you had some really exciting news that you'd have not been able to share to our listeners yet.
This is true. I got accepted into their Henchman program, so I am the Henchman of Las Vegas.
That's pretty fucking epic because Las Vegas is not exactly a small area. And for those who don't know, a henchman is what an outrider used to be for Games Workshop. They go and they do demos, they do tournaments and everything else. Now, I was kind of teasing Clint a little bit, and I was like, so you're going to go teach people how to do dioramas?
Yeah, no.
Because of the iron painting competition. If you're a longtime listener, you'll catch that joke. If not, you'll probably hear about it when it rolls around again this year. Because Yeji, no matter how much she hates it, will enter it and then bitch the entire time.
No, I'm not going to do it.
What? Really?
I don't have time. I have a new business to run here.
That, and also you could be doing, if you're going to paint miniatures, you could do stuff that, I don't know, makes money.
Which also, if anybody's looking to either move to Vegas or lives in the Vegas area, I am looking to hire, so keep that in mind.
Ooh, hire me. I don't think you can afford me, but you can't pay.
Probably not.
You can't pay me with panty picks. Those would be a nice bonus, though.
Well, I mean, if you're writing enough business, hell, I'll be fine hiring you. It's just you'd have to work off commission.
I'd also have to go get my license.
Yep.
Because I can sell. I mean, that's not a problem. I can sell. I could be the you've got the Asian market locked down. I could sell to the white folk.
Hold on.
Apparently someone was being too loud in the background or something and they had to mute. So you're stuck with me. No, but that was really cool about Clint getting accepted into the Henchman program, and that is a big responsibility because I used to be I personally was a bounty hunter for a game called Warlord from a company named Aldrich Entertainment Group, otherwise known as AEG, who produced Legend of the Five Rings, Warlord, Seventh Sea, places like that. And I remember it used to be, it was not easy scheduling tournaments and scheduling painting events, or not, well, for that it wasn't painting events, but for demo events and everything else, and having to travel throughout the central Indiana area. So it's a big undertaking, and I didn't even realize that he had I think he said 3 or 4 war bands that were complete. I was like, oh, okay. I did not know that. See, I promised y'all a full house, and now it's just me sitting here rambling on about random stuff that you probably don't care about, but oh well. Now, my last week was pretty cool. If you pay attention on social media, I was actually, I assembled the humans and the orcs out of the core box set of Blood Bowl. So those are completely done. So my plan is to sit down with the boys and a couple friends of mine and teach them the basic rules with the basic teams, go through everything, and basically just teach them how to play. And that would give us 4 players, 5 if my daughter decides to join in, and hopefully we can get some of our other mutual friends involved. And if we do, we'll be able to have a 6 or 7 or 8 man league. And that's the ultimate goal. I'd love to have an 8-man league going on where there's a lot of us. Actually, I'm currently working on the Bright Crusaders, which are basically paladins of the Blood Bowl world. They're pretty neat. They're a resin / plastic kit. So you get the entire human team, but then you get all of the Bright Steel Commander dudes as well. So, and you get replacement chests and replacement heads for all of them. And some of them actually have multiple head choices. You'll have one that's covered, and then you'll have another one that has an open head, hair and everything else. But they have a downside to them where they can't cheat. So, but it's a fun little team. I cannot complain. It's kind of fun putting them together. I've got 4 of the 12 done right now, and that's what I've been working on.
Is it working now? Is it working now?
You can't have Netflix in incognito mode.
She was on incognito mode?
You had her as a guest instead of under your Google profile, which instantly puts everything in incognito. It doesn't keep cookies.
I didn't know such thing because I haven't touched that computer.
It was under guest and it wouldn't play anything.
So that was not me because I had nothing to do with that computer. I've not touched it since it's
probably last year. They're back.
No, she even tried to make her own profile on there last year. Maybe that's what missed her. I don't know. I haven't touched that computer since I got the new one, so don't tell me it was me doing something when it wasn't. He's been doing that a lot lately, pissing me off. Children.
I was explaining how I've been working on my Blood Bowl teams, and I'm getting ready to teach the boys how to play Blood Bowl, and a couple friends, so we're going to try to get a good-sized Blood Bowl league going here locally. I figure start them off slowly with Blood Bowl, and then slowly work them into some of the larger games.
Yeah, I could see that. Next, get into, what was it, Mordheim?
We could, the new Mordheim would definitely be fun. And I think they'd really enjoy that, because then they actually even more customization. But, yeah, so I finished putting together the human team and the orc team last week. So that I feel accomplished. Actually, it wasn't hard. Actually, the kits are really easy to put together, but it was definitely freaking time consuming. That's for damn sure. It was a lot more time consuming than I thought it was, but, going through and removing mold lines and as much as possible and all that good stuff, so.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, man. So it's actually been a busy week on the website. We ended up putting up 3 different articles this week. The new Ask Ray feature is actually Ask Rye. Ask Rye feature has been popular. People have liked it. I did an article that I already got popped by someone for my grammar. And it wasn't Yeji. So I got popped for my grammar.
Busy doing other shit.
Yeah, heaven forbid, help out. But I did an article on just asking the question whether or not Games Workshop has or is at least starting to redeem themselves. And honestly, it's been a resounding yes. A lot of people have been saying that, yes, GW has redeemed themselves. So that's kind of cool.
A lot of people are pretty happy with what they've been doing lately.
Well, I mean, there was the nightmare known as when Age of Sigmar first came out. I mean, that was, oh my God, so much salt and butthurt that it wasn't even funny. Just everyone throwing a freaking conniption fit. And then everyone turned around and was like, oh, you know what? We really like it. It's like, really? You're going to sit there and everyone's going to throw the biggest hissy fit. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, you know what? It's actually a really good system. At least
Because people don't like change.
Yeah, I get that. Well, no, that's not entirely true. Because when 8th edition came around, I don't think anyone really bitched about it. The only people that bitched were people who had to buy the codexes again. That was the biggest complaint. Oh God, another rule book. But they made the rule books very affordable, and the rules inside make sense. And I don't think anyone's really truly complained about the rules. They may have complained about having to rebuy stuff, but everyone was looking forward to a new edition because just how bad 7th edition was. It was horrible. So
yeah. Well, and then the whole going back to like when they first released Finecast, and they made a lot of missteps back in the day.
No, Finecast. Okay, Finecast had to happen, and like I said, I've talked to Brian from Reaper, and he agrees. Finecast had to happen and Finecast was never supposed to be permanent. If you haven't noticed, a lot of the stuff that's Finecast has been quickly rotated out for an injection mold plastic kit. But Finecast had to happen because of, honestly, the price of pewter. The price of pewter is ridiculous. It literally tripled within like a 1 week period. So all those models that you were paying like $15 or $12 or $13, they honestly, they were the models themselves. What is it? It went from like $8 a pound to like 30 something dollars a pound for pewter. So it was just an astronomical jump. That's how come Reaper started switching over to bones. That's why not a lot of people make out of pewter anymore. And if they do make out of pewter, you're looking at like $50 models like Andreas Miniatures. They use pewter, but they're like $50 to buy a single miniature. Not only are they really epically detailed, but it's also because they're made out of pewter. Now, was it the best decision? Yes and no. Finecast was one of those things that, okay, if you were hit with a crisis of the product that is your number one product for making stuff, and it all of a sudden triples in price, and you don't want to jack the prices up even higher on your product, you have to do something. And that something for them was Finecast. So it was either Finecast or your models would have tripled in price. It's as simple as that. Or at least
that's fine.
And
the problem with Finecast is there was no quality control. Everything had massive bubbles.
Because they also recalled all of their pewter miniatures and had to replace them with Finecast. So yeah, they were working really hard in the casting room, and they were also working out all the kinks. Like if you look at Finecast nowadays,
I like how you defend, like, you know, you're defending GW, and then other things come up, and you're like,
no, I'm not defending GW. I'm saying that Finecast had to happen. There's a big difference. On the business sense, it had to.
What's that a fucking difference?
Because I don't like the fact that GW changed their paint line the way they did when they switched all the fucking names and changed all the fucking colors. I thought that was a stupid move. But
which time?
The most recent time. They've only done it twice, and the first time was back in the 90s, and the second time was recent. it wasn't that they changed a color, they changed the entire product line. Even the black isn't the same shade of black. I thought that was a stupid move because I now don't have a supply of the paint that half my army is painted in. I'm having to go scrounge in old shops and find old bottles of it and buy it when I do find it. Just because I'm looking at a single aspect of something that Games Workshop has done and saying that it needed to happen doesn't mean I'm saying that GW is the best. Here, GW, give me your cock. It's the fact that it had to happen, because if not, we would not have had the pewter miniatures, or the pewter miniatures would have went to a price point that was so outrageously expensive that we would not want to purchase them. Was it the best thing that they could do on the fly? Yes. Was it a good long-term fix? No. And they have done the right thing. Is Finecast still out there? Yes. But it is slowly dwindling. The number of Finecast miniatures that are available on the market is going down because they're replacing them with plastic kits, which is what the good long-term is. It's just like Reaper. They realized that pewter isn't the way to go either. So they started switching over to bones material. Other companies, if pewter was such a great thing, then why are companies such as Impact or any of those producing in Trollforge? Because pewter isn't sustainable. Because another problem is okay, pewter is like 90% tin. Where does most of the world's tin come from? China. So it just wasn't something that basically Finecast had to happen. It was a great short-term fix. And I do wish, honestly, they'd be a little bit faster in replacing the models. And that isn't freaking Yeji. It's just like, honestly, business-wise, I can tell you, yeah, it was a good idea for them to change the colors. I fucking hated it because I have no more Hawk Turquoise, but I understand why they did it. And I don't agree. I don't agree with why they did it, but I know why they did it. And business-wise, it makes perfect sense. They made all of their colors. The old line, prior to this one, all of the colors were being produced by Vallejo, the exact shade. So what they did was they were losing market share to Vallejo because Vallejo made the same colors. That's why I'm not too fucking dead inside, because I can go get Falcon Turquoise from Vallejo, which is the exact same color as Hawk Turquoise is for GW. And everything was like that. So what they did is, yeah, they fucked over the old painters like myself and anyone who's been in the hobby for a while. But our market share for GW is like 10%. 10% of GW sales comes from people like me. If that. What they were doing is they were targeting the people who are entering into painting, who are entering into the miniature world, which is like 90% of their sales, and they were selling them a color that they could only get from Games Workshop. Do I like that? No, I think it's kind of bullshit. But business-wise, I can see why they did it. Because it locks a person into buying your product. Just like Games Workshop paints. They're not horrible paints. They're actually really good paints. I just think they're outrageously expensive for what you get. $4.25 for 12 mils of paint, I think is ridiculously overpriced. And what's happening is that new guy, Joe is a perfect example. He got into playing Games Workshop 2 years ago. 3 years ago? 3 years ago. He bought his stuff. All of his models are painted with Games Workshop paints. And it's the new color line. Joe is locked into buying Games Workshop paints. Because if he switches, the shade will switch. The color will switch. And GW, honestly, their new system of how... people tease... I've seen people actually tease about the new GW system. And I'm one of them. I have made joking remarks of how the new GW paint line is paint by colors or paint by number, because they tell you exactly how to paint stuff, but it's fucking ingenious. And it's people like myself who make tutorials who do the exact same thing, but GW is doing it on a grander scale for their entire fucking paint line. Business wise, that's incredibly smart, because they give you a paint guide. They'll sell you a kit for $100 to paint your Sigmar miniatures. And it's every color you need, from base coat all the way down to your fucking dry paints to your shades and your glazes. And you'll have a tabletop ready army from $100 kit. I still don't like it. I still think that it's anti-competitive. I mean, it's kind of a bit of a monopoly because they have their proprietary paints, but in all honesty, everybody does. Reaper has proprietary paints. War Colors has proprietary colors. Vallejo has proprietary colors. So GW, I'm salty because I'm getting screwed out of the old colors that I used to buy that I liked.
Sometimes I like making Larry get on one just so he can talk a lot.
Yeji is being lazy and doesn't want to talk, so she's like, "Rant, Larry, rant."
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. But in the grand scheme of things, I honestly believe, like I said in my article, that I think GW is going in the right direction. They have a face in the community again, which is something they were lacking horribly bad. And I don't care what you say about, what's his name? Duncan
Rhodes?
Yeah, I don't care. People make fun of the guy, and I think it's bullshit. He is what we have been asking for in the community for a while. He is our bard. He is the guy that we can actually talk to. And from everything I've heard, he's actually an exceptionally nice guy. And, but of course, you still got 4chan folks who are going to sit there and be shitty about, oh, he's not that good a painter. Oh, he's not this. And I was like, my thing is, it's not his job to fucking paint. That's why they have the heavy metal group. It's his job to be the public face of GW. He's the guy he is the GW version of Henchman. He is the worldwide Henchman. His job is to seriously get people motivated to paint, to do the basic stuff. It's his job to show people how to do tabletop painting. It's people like myself and other people and Yeji and everyone who does tutorials to go and show people advanced techniques. So Duncan is fulfilling his service. He is the face of GW. He's a nice guy. He's their bard. He goes out, he talks to people, he's approachable. And it's the fact that I love that he actually has a team that you can go to on Facebook or on Twitter, and you can tweet them or hit them up on Instagram, and they respond now. There was a dead period of 4 fucking years where you couldn't get a word from Games Workshop. You couldn't talk to them, and it was infuriating. That was the worst part. And then they started overpricing all their books, and they'd released rule books like fucking every week. You'd get a new goddamn rule book. You didn't have a chance to learn your rule book. And they weren't addressing stuff, and now they actually are. They're being active again. This, honestly, from a player of Games Workshop who has been playing for over 20 years, is starting to remind me of what GW was like back in the beginning of 3rd edition, when we had Fat Bloke and we had Andy Chambers and we had a White Dwarf that was fucking worth buying, and we had product that was coming out that wasn't. Yeah, is it expensive? Yes, Games Workshop is fucking expensive, but they're giving you avenues to get into the game now that is not going to break your wallet. You have avenues to get into the game that's like $150, and they have games that support it. They have skirmish games now, and then you can slowly build up to huge or bigger games like a standard 15, and then you can build up to eventually to an APOC force. They have everything. They have every flavor and everything in between. And that is what Games Workshop needed to do. And that's what 40K and Age of Sigmar and everything else. And the fact that they're actually supporting their small lines, their Mordheims, their Blood Bowls. That's freaking amazing. I love that. I love that the fact that I actually have Blood Bowl support again. So yes, they're moving in the right direction. No, they're not cheap. Yes, some things are cheaper now, such as the rule books. That was a great move. Because I'll end up buying all of the rule books. Why? Because they're $25. I'll walk in and be like, oh, what do I want to buy? Oh, let me grab the new rule book. And if you hunt around, you can find them for $20. Their models are expensive, but honestly, I challenge you to find model companies out there that produce plastic kits like they do. Their plastic kits are fucking amazing. Their mold lines are... Exactly. And the companies that are, they're going to be charging the same damn prices. It's one of those deals that, am I a bit of a Games Workshop fanboy? Yes, I'll admit it. I've been playing their games for 20 fucking years. I don't think I can be anything other than a GW fanboy. I don't like every move that they make. I think there's some things that they do that's absolutely stupid. They're saying mistakes that they made in the past that almost got me to quit. But I think they're going in the right direction now. And from an old-time player, this reminds me of the beginning of 3rd edition, which a lot of people will say was the best time for Games Workshop. They worked with gaming stores, they worked with players, they communicated with players, they had fun in the community. You would email their helpline and they would act like they were a goblin replying to you. Seriously. They had fun. And that's what we need to bring back. They have to remember they're a fucking gaming company and they're supporting gamers, and gamers like to have fun. And I think that's what they're doing now. And I think that's a good move. Oh, and then
gamers have fun. When did this happen? Yeji's just being a troll tonight.
When they remove the corn cob from their ass.
Yeji's just being a troll tonight.
There's other words, but okay. A troll fits, I guess.
Oh, you mean a bitch and a cunt?
I don't know if I'd go.
See you next Tuesday.
I don't know if I'd go like straight cunt. You're a little bitchy, but no, I don't think I could ever say that you've been real cunty. At least not towards me.
Well, when you have kids that question your every move and they're like, "Nuh-uh, you can't make me do this." Yeah, I'm gonna be bitchy.
Oh, welcome to my fucking life.
Because I wanna whoop their asses.
I've got 4 of those. Welcome to my life. I've got a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 11-year-old as of 2 days or 3 days from now. Welcome to my life. And the best part about it is my freaking 14-year-old, I was sitting there looking at him and I realized I was looking under his nose. He is taller than I am now.
Same with my 11-year-old. She's taller than I am.
That's because you're Asian and short.
Oh, gee, thanks.
What?
Mr.
I'm not super tall. I'm 5'9". I'm not super tall. But it's the fact that he's only 14 and is already taller than I am. I'm like, goodness, this is great. And he is so hyperactive and he eats, like, he is prescribed protein shakes. He has to eat them like twice a day to try to maintain body mass. But he burns food so fast. This kid sits on he's a computer geek with a fucking 6-pack. And he is rock solid muscle because all he does is drink freaking protein drinks and then burns everything off at an absolutely ridiculous speed. I'll tell you.
Only that we're all of us.
Yeah, right? I'm like, dude, give me some of your energy. That guy, okay, the original fidget spinner is his ass on a fucking merry-go-round. Didn't know. No. Did they not have merry-go-rounds when you were a kid, Yeji? Probably not. They probably were already banned by then.
Dude, I'm what's called a exennial is what they call it now, apparently.
Exennial?
Yeah.
Are you? I thought you were straight up millennial.
My age group, the year that I was born is a millennial, but I don't consider myself a millennial because I grew up with analog shit. And then as I got into mid-teen years was when computers became more of a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
I don't consider myself a millennial. I still hate shit like Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and shit like that.
I am actually an exennial. I fall right in the middle of the exennial group. So for anyone who's listening who doesn't have a clue what the hell we're talking about, they have named a microgeneration, and it falls between Generation X and the millennials, because there for a while, Generation X would float 2 years this way, would float 2 years that way. And the same with the millennials. You know, one chart has me as a millennial, no, and another chart had me as Generation X. So they got together and they brainstormed, and they decided that there was this mini generation of like 5 years. It's like 1976 to 82, I think.
83, I think, was the last one that I read.
Okay, so 83, and they're called exennials, and it's Generation X and millennials. And what it is you are born into Generation X, because when you were in high school and elementary school and everything else, computers were rare. You didn't have technology. Cell phones weren't really a thing. Pagers were a big thing. If you had a cell phone, it was the size of a brick and had a 30-minute battery life if you were lucky, and vibrate was a premium feature. You had to get on it. I know. I had one, and those phones sucked. But that you grew up with that sort of Generation X type deal, but whenever you hit your 20s and your 30s, computers were everywhere. Technology had its boom. As you were growing up into your 20s, you had iPhones, you had smartphone, the first generation of smartphones, you had Blackberries, you had cell phones that didn't stuck. You became unwired. You didn't have phones at your house anymore. So you had to adopt into the technology, and that's what an exennial is. So there's your history lesson of the day. I guess it is history lesson. So if you're born...
Are you getting a Southern accent too?
I lived in Kentucky for oh God, how long did I live in Kentucky? I moved there in 92 till 2001. So 9 years, and then I was stationed at Fort Campbell for 7. So I lived in Kentucky for 16 years.
Yeah, no, my Southern drawl keeps coming back every time I go to Missouri.
Now, you did have some cool stuff happen in Missouri. You have your buddy that you met. Gives him shout out.
Oh, hi, Grant.
So
I actually waved.
So what happened was she's down at her
hi, Grant from Tennessee.
Her corporate office down in Missouri, and she ran into a guy. His name's Grant, if you haven't figured it out. And it turns out he's a War Machine player, and I believe GW as well, but he's from the Fort Campbell area.
Is it Fort Campbell?
If he's playing in Clarksville, it's Fort Campbell. His game store that he goes to is in the Fort Campbell area. I
don't know that area.
That's why I was trying to tell him that the store he goes to, I was in the Army with the owner of.
Oh.
But, I guess he doesn't want any leads from me, but that's fine. That's fine. I understand. But
he's actually a third generation insurance guy with this company. His grandfather, then his father, then himself.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
But yeah, so she was like, oh my God, this guy plays War Machine and da 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 da. And then the second time she went down, which she just got back from, she's like, he listens to the podcast now.
Yeah, no, it was so funny because a lot of the girls in the class pegged me as, one of the innocent types. And when curse words and other stuff started flying from my lips, they just looked at me like, Yeji! And Grant's like, she's probably one of the dirtiest people in this class.
And then you should hear her friend Larry.
Oh, no, there was a guy worse than you this time around because he actually missed his second training round. So he came into our class and he was worse than you. He wasn't even dirty. He was legit vulgar.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a hard time believing this because, I talk about
he would show his text message to his wife and the one weekend because he lived close to Missouri and he was like, what are we having for dinner tonight? And she goes, well, it'll be fish tacos in bed whether you come home or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he'd say some weird ass shit. And then this one story that kind of was just like to all of us was, so when he got together with his wife, she moved in and she brought a cat that hadn't been spayed. And so it was yowling when it was in heat. And so he looked it up on Google to see what would stop the yowling. So he took a fucking thermometer and freaking
I always heard Q-tip, but I guess thermometer works too.
Well, and so he texts his wife that, or she comes home or something, and she was like, "Do you use lube?" And that's the wrong hole, anyway. So he pretty much anal ripped a cat.
Arr?
Yes, I remember that story, but Kara did not keep.
Nope, her finger just went in once, and she realized the mistake in her ways.
But he was kind of creepy.
Yeah. Wow. He'd have to be if he was worse than me.
Who fucking looks up this shit on Google to do it?
I don't know. Female cats can be pretty damn annoying when they're in heat.
Mm-hmm.
We've never had that issue with Marceline, though, so I would.
Oh, I would say it's actually probably more common than you think. But the real question of the matter is who fucking who mistakes the asshole for the vagina? And then who follows up with the question of, did you use lube?
I don't know. Apparently him and his wife. And so me being the blunt person that I am, one day we're sitting together, he's sitting next to me at lunch, and he says something else. And I was like, he says his wife sent him a thing about, because he told her that we were role-playing in class, and his wife sent him a link with 30 role plays that every couple should do. And he's showing it to me, and he's just like, yeah, like the policeman, the delivery guy. And I'm just like, I don't need to know this shit. And so me being blunt, I go, so you and your wife must be very kinky. And he goes, well, that's different for every definition of kinky. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, so that means you're kinky. And then he proceeds to, like, he could have just stopped right there, No, he proceeds to explain, yeah, but we never bring any other people into it. And I'm just like, I didn't need to fucking know that.
You wanted to make sure you do that.
I guess.
You wanted to make sure that you didn't think he was too perverse.
But, like, I just, no, like, it could have stopped right there. No, it did not.
You meet interesting. You meet interesting people.
Yeah, that was a very interesting person. And he one of the guys in class, like, I guess he, like, singled out or something. He squeezed his butt a couple of times in passing and, like, specifically moved next to him in order to squeeze his butt and give him the little scoop on the man boobies. Excuse me. So, interesting guy.
No, I think the difference is the fact that you've met him in real life. You just haven't met me in real life.
I don't know if I want to meet you in real life then.
I definitely wouldn't be doing a scoop on the man boobies.
I think Clint would punch you in the face if you tried anything on me, though.
Well, his man boobies, but that's beside the fact.
I was going to say, you have man boobies now?
I do.
Oh, that's one.
Since I got my sexist reassignment surgery.
Oh, okay.
See, she told you that she was going to Missouri for a new job, but it was really Mexico.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's why the southern accent is back. It's because she just came back from Mexico.
Oh, guess what? We just booked our tickets last night for
Darantwood?
Wait for it. ReaperCon!
I actually have zero ambition to go to ReaperCon. To be truthful, I have, like, literally no ambition to go. I just look at the people. I just look at a lot of the people who are going, and I'm just like, They either go to other conventions that I'll meet them at, or they just don't fall into that line of I really want to meet them. And honestly, I don't know. I just look at
Well, I'm going to see Mocha again.
You have fun with that.
It should be pretty fun. That'll be the first time we actually left to go see a con.
To go to a convention. Well, other than myself, who went to Yowie.
I don't know, maybe it's me getting older. I just don't have time for the high school bullshit and the drama and the little cliques and the groups and everything else that apparently happen quite heavily at all the different conventions. So, fuck it, I really don't want to go. And that's not just ReaperCon. It's pretty much almost any convention nowadays. If I was to go to a convention, I'd have to have someone that's going that I really want to meet. Because every time fucking convention happens, maybe. Every time a convention happens, it's like immediately afterwards, it's high school drama bullshit, high school drama bullshit, high school drama bullshit. And it's just like, most of the people in this hobby are like fucking 30 years old, if not older. High school is well behind. Fucking just stop. And then half the shit that I hear that happens at the conventions, like favoritism being played in the competition portions and this and that and everything else. It's like, yeah, fuck it. I really don't. I don't want to have to be a person's friend to have a chance of winning in a competition. So.
Well, technically you don't have to because, some people have won without being friends. But teach his own.
Yeah. It's not for everyone. That's definitely. I also want to get con crud, and I know it's probably gonna happen.
Don't jinx it.
No, it's just I don't know. Okay, so ReaperCon. If you two are going, I'd like to see you guys. Lynn, Kirk, Tim, maybe. Depends if he's being a butthead or not. Love you, Tim. And I think that's about it for ReaperCon. Yeah, that's about it. Mr. Justin would be pretty neat to meet, but actually the only person that I think I would have...
Classes.
See, that's one thing.
Waffles will be there.
Okay, but once again, they fall into the line of I can see them at other conventions. The only person that I know of that I could not meet at another convention is Kirk.
He goes to Gen Con and Adepticon.
Does he?
Yeah.
I didn't think he went to oh, you know what? You're right. So yeah, there's honestly no one that I'd have to go to ReaperCon specifically to meet.
This is true.
Well, possibly Clint and I, because I don't know when we're going to come out to...
Well, I'd like to go to Adepticon next year.
Yeah, heaven forbid going to the actual miniature convention.
But that's the thing, like, I kind of wanted to go for the painting portion, if I can pick up another couple of things or something. Which I feel like I've been pretty good at painting stuff up.
I don't know, that's almost a downside of actually getting somewhat ingrained into the community, is you get to see shit that you don't want to see. And you get to hear about... You get to hear about shit that you don't want to hear. It was a much funner time in the mid-2000s when it was me and some buddies going to Games Day in Baltimore and meeting up with a couple people that I'd heard of in passing from the forums that I hung out on. I'm honestly to the belief that the worst thing that's happened to the miniature community is shit like Facebook. I think that Facebook itself has been horrible for the miniature community. It's a bane and a boon. It used to be where you had micro social groups, i.e. forums, and...
Well, I mean, in a way it's kind of nice because you get to see more works of art. On the other hand, it's not so nice because then people bitch about said artworks.
But we had Cool Mini and stuff like that. We had places to talk about art. Even on Heresy or Warsea or any of those, we had places to talk about our art. And was there downsides to it because of the microcosms? Yes. Because you didn't get as much feedback as you could as if you'd went to other places. Like I used to go to Chest of Colors a lot because they're known for their hard critiques. Probably where I picked up me being real hard on my critiques because I learned a lot getting those hard critiques. And you learned the forums. It was like Cheers. You had your own little place. And the death of the forums, because they're effectively dead nowadays. Yeah, Warseer and Daka still have decent showings, but with the rise of places like Reddit and Facebook and everything else, and also there used to be a sense of animosity, people not knowing who the fuck you were. I was Gen 24 on the forums.
Anonymity?
Yes. I was Gen 24 on the forums, and I was Larry other places. Now I'm me. Larry is the guy who runs Models Workshop, and am I displeased with that? In some ways, yes. I'd love to be, hey, it's Gen 24, he runs Models Workshop. And it's Larry, and Larry's a truck driver. It was almost like I had the dual personality. I don't know why
you want separate identities.
Because when I'm in the miniature world, I'm not the same person as I am whenever I'm fucking around on Facebook or on being a truck driver. It's as simple as that. And it also gave me a little more freedom to be like, oh, someone wants your critique. I'll give them an honest critique, and I don't have to worry about getting doxxed. You live in fucking Vegas. How many people live in Vegas? I live in a little fucking corn town that has 2,000 people in it. If a person wants to find out where I live, it would take them probably 2 minutes. So I like that separation. I like that buffer. I could say something, and if I piss someone off, oh well, it's Jin. I liked having the separate identity, and it's dead now. It's gone. And also with Facebook, it's another reason is whenever it was forums and forums only. When Yeji posted about her models and her miniatures and the stuff that she was going through in the miniature community, that's all I heard about. But now that I'm friends with Yeji or whenever it was a Ruma chick. No, but now that I'm friends with Yeji, I get to see what she's having for dinner. I get to see what her cats are doing. I get to see what her boyfriend is doing, and I get to see all of that. And it's almost information overload. And for some people, I don't mind it. For some, I honestly, past your miniatures, that's all I want to see. But I can't do that because it's either all or nothing. I can't just go look at your miniatures. I have to see what you're having for dinner and everything else. And forums were that ideal place where you would go and you would only get to see their miniatures. You see where I'm coming from?
I guess I'm just a friendly person then.
I'm a friendly person too. I mean, honestly, most of the time I am a friendly guy. I'm very approachable. I mean, ask anybody who's messaged me and be like, hey, I have a question about an airbrush, and I spent 3-4 hours talking to him about airbrushes. I like that aspect. I like being more reachable, but on the same token, I don't know, like when Lester kicked everybody off of his personal page, I seriously and said, hey, follow me on my artist page. I knew exactly where he was coming from. So when he removed me, it didn't bother me at least bit, because I seriously knew where he was coming from. The fact that he wanted this separate identity, he wanted to have this for his miniatures and the other for his life. And I think Facebook has ruined that. It's like you get to see some stuff from your quote unquote friends that you don't want to see. You know, and some people, and it in some ways, it kind of taints the person as they are. It's like during political season, I damn near had to just completely walk away from Facebook because I'm seeing some things that people are posting. I'm just like, it was changing my perspective, and I don't want that. I want to paint fucking miniatures.
True.
And that's what I'm saying. Whenever I was able to log into Heresy and go there, I was going there and I was looking specifically at miniatures. And now, I mean, I left Facebook and I was gone for over a month. And did I miss it? Sometimes. Did it recharge my batteries coming back? Yeah, I was a lot more into posting stuff and getting on the Models Workshop page. Because there for a while, I stopped sharing stuff to the Models Workshop page. My batteries were empty. And now that I came back, I'm posting a lot more. I'm sharing a lot more. I'm finding stuff and putting it up. So, for those who didn't know, I'm back on Facebook and being active again. So, that's why there's been an explosion of posts. My batteries are a little more recharged. But I don't know. I miss the forums. I really do. I miss the microcosms and allowing me to go to conventions and not know everybody there and their fucking dirty little secrets and the drama and the rumors that are around these people. Because everybody has goddamn rumors about them. Everybody. I'm sure I have some. Now, he's an asshole. That's not a rumor. It's true.
Do I have some? Damn.
More than likely.
Then again, I don't give a fuck. Like that's what people were saying in class, because there was one girl that was always asking whether she, people liked her or not and whatnot. And she's a sweet girl and she's fun to hang around with, but like every little thing, she's like, "Oh my god, did I say something? Oh my god, like, do people not like me?" And we've just been telling her, you need to stop worrying about what other people think about you and just be yourself. Everyone has their own little quirks, and that's how the cookie crumbles. And I'm just one of those that if you like me for me, cool. If you don't like me, and you fuck off, then it's your own issue that you don't get to know the coolness that's me.
Well, it was just like the issue that happened for over a year that I finally just recently said, fuck it, unblock the person, and have even interacted with. I even interacted with this person on 2 occasions. And I realized, and honestly, and I even said this even like 6 months into the year and some change that I had this person blocked and wouldn't talk to him, that I knew that I was overreacting. And Yeji can attest to this. I even told Yeji, I was like, I'm overreacting and I don't know why, but this entire situation has truly and royally pissed me off. And eventually I got to one day and I'm sitting there, I'm like, why? Because I thought back at what was said, and it just really honestly dawned on me what they said wasn't even all that horrible. It was shitty and it was kind of silly, but it wasn't horrible. And I think honestly, my main thing was that situation hurt my feelings because the person in question, I had done nothing but try to bend over backwards to help out. And then I got accused of some pretty harsh shit. And I'm just like, whatever. And I vowed I'll never help another person. I'll never help another person. And then a week later, it's like, hey, look, someone else needs help. And I'm out here. And it sucks because I do try to help out. It's like Thomas in Louisville with the kids. I try to bring up the fact that they have a game club and they need models and they need supplies because they're an impoverished school. Because I honestly like helping people. It's why I'll sit down and call people and help them buy an airbrush. Don't get me wrong. I am going to send you an affiliate link, and I would appreciate greatly if you use the affiliate link. But the reason I appreciate people using our affiliate links is because it allows me to get stuff for tutorials. Like I bought a fluorescent lamp, like a 4-foot tubed fluorescent lamp that I'm going to modify in it for a tutorial. Did it cover all the costs? No, I ended up still coming out of pocket on it, but it helped cover a little bit of it. And that's, whenever I tell people, hey, we have an affiliate link, please use it. That's why, because the more it gets used, the more content I can put out. Or microphones that I can buy for everyone. Speaking of which, I need to sit down with Sinjin here soon and figure out what the hell's going on with his mic. Because he has some weird stuff going on with it. Like he can talk and it registers, but he can't hear anything, which is odd.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said too. I was like, oh, righty then. So, yeah, speaking of...
Shouldn't that just be settings on his computer?
It probably is.
Yeah, I'll sit down with him and I'll do a screen share because I've got the software to screen share and show him where to go to see if it needs to be tinked with a little bit.
What did you do with this brush? It's like splitting on me.
You might need to do a deep clean with it, like a Winsor & Newton brush cleaner and preserver. The stuff.
It's a new brush, dude.
It doesn't matter. If a single piece of paint got into the ferrule, it can cause it to split. That's why you use the harsher detergent that soaks into the ferrule and dissolves the binder of the paint, and it should pull that stuff out.
Well, I don't have that right now.
We have our melted masters.
Well, yeah, molted.
Molted. Hey, how did that work out? Did all the grit settle, or is it actually still distributed?
I think it's settled.
Oh, boo. Because I was like, man, that would be freaking awesome. Because I don't know about you, but I freaking hate whenever it gets
like the divot?
Oh, yeah, that bothers the shit out of me. Maybe if we melt it and then stir it continuously as it hardens.
Probably.
That would probably work.
Or wait till it starts.
But then, stirring it would also annoy the shit out of me because then you'd have stir lines.
No, what you do is until you wait till
you just turn it upside down and let it rest on the lid. That way, all the grits.
No, then everything leaks out.
No, what you could do is you stir it until it starts setting a little bit, setting enough where it'll still flatten, but it won't let the grit completely settle. There's not enough time for the grit to go to the bottom. Because I can't imagine it being super, super thin, even...
don't know. We actually didn't really... We didn't even know it.
You know what? I have 5 bottles of Masters. I'm sure I can find one that... actually, I am going to do that. I'll get some boiling water and dip it in there and liquefy it. For the simple fact, another thing I hate about Masters brush cleaner is the fact that it's like a little cake that has an edge around it. I'd like it to go from side to side.
Well, it'll definitely do that.
I'll do some experiments. How to refresh your Masters brush cleaner. Hell, that actually might be a popular tutorial because I'm sure we're not the only ones that hate that big effing divot in the middle of the Masters brush cleaner. So is that actually, listeners, if that's something you'd like to see, hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/The Models Workshop or Twitter at twitter.com/NWH podcast or Snickersnack. And let us know if that's something you'd actually like us to do. Like, do you hate that divot and would like to get rid of it? Like, refresh it?
It sounds like a TV commercial.
We need one of those bad black and white, Yeji's
what was that, Yeji?
Go clean her brush and opens up and sees the divot and like the brush flies out of her hand. She's like, oh no, divots.
We need to make an infomercial out of this divot.
Do you hate divots? I hate divots. But don't worry, we can help you. So I decide, and the last tutorial of the last article that I did on that actually came up was a review of the Bright Crusaders, which is what I'm assembling and what I talked about earlier. They're the paladins of the Blood Bowl world. They don't cheat at all, ever. That's their special rules. They cannot cheat. So, but it's a kit from Forge World. It's 1 part plastic. A standard Blood Bowl miniature is 3 pieces nowadays. So the body and the legs are plastic on the humans. So the chest piece and the head are resin replacements. Actually, Blood Bowl or Forge World has a second team out now that I really want to pick up. It's the Orklin Raiders. No, well, yes, it's a pun, but to be fair, it's actually been written in the lore of Blood Bowl for a while. They're a quote unquote well-known team within Blood Bowl. So the fact that they have their own team now with their own models is pretty damn cool, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I'm assembling them. I did a video on them. I'm actually
You know what song you got stuck in my head now?
What's that?
Ariana Grande.
Huh?
Bodies hit the floor.
That's Drowning Pool.
Body or the boy that got me going side to side. Pretty much.
Side to side. Oh, you mean like the one on the exercise bikes?
Yes.
I don't know the lyrics to that song because I always watch it on mute.
Fapping to it?
Maybe. Oh my god, it was funny as shit because I had no idea who Ariana Grande was, but I always loved the show iCarly. And I really like the character Kat because she's like seriously sarcastic, which is really fitting for me, you know, being sarcastic. So I loved that show. And whenever iCarly went off the air and they brought in, was it Kat and whatever, the new show? I could not stand the new girl. Like her voice just it's like nails on a chalkboard. And I never realized that was Ariana Grande. It was.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It was a spin-off show, so it never got a lot of traction. Probably for the simple fact, like if you ever hear Ariana Grande talk, oh my god, she has the most annoying talk. It is so annoying. She talks really high and like this and da 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 and
Yeah, no thanks.
Like a Larry with his balls in a vice.
Something like that, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, so in real world shit, they changed our route this last stop, and the company that I haul for are absolute idiots. Like, come to find out, the load planners for the company that I haul for, the route planners are basically a McJob for them. It's minimum wage. And you can tell with whoever planned our route. Like, they have us getting to Buffalo, whereas our pickup in Buffalo is supposed to be at 7 in the morning. We got to Buffalo at 10:30 the night before. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we here? How did we run this route so damn quick and we're already here? And then the new company, I walk in, I'm like, hey, is there any way you can load us? If it's a paperwork issue, you can just fax it to my company and I'll sign it because I'll be getting back to my company about the same time your paperwork people get in. And I was dealing with the dock supervisor. And I'm the type of person, I see these people 2-3 times a week. So I always try to work with the plant people. And this guy was the biggest asshole that I ever met. Simple yes, no question. Is there any way you can load me and just fax the paperwork over and I can fax it back signed? And he proceeds to lecture Joe and I and belittle us and degrade in this. I was absolutely fucking furious, like damn near in tears. I was so fucking pissed after everything was said and done. And I'm walking, and he was like, "Who told you that?" And I was like, "My manager told me that it shouldn't be a problem to come in and pick it up, because we've never had a problem picking up at this plant before." And he's like, "Well, you need to get your manager on the phone." And I was like, "I'm not calling my boss at 11 o'clock at night." "Well, you need to get him on the phone." I was like, "No, I'm not calling my boss at 11 o'clock at night. You are nowhere near that important." I was like, "If you want to talk to him, his name is John, and my boss's boss is named Clay. You can give them a call in the morning, because more than likely they'll be giving you a call in the morning." So I'm already pissed off. I'm walking outside the building, and I'm calling my company, because this guy seems like the type of asshole who will call and report me for being disrespectful or something when I was doing everything in my power to not cuss him out. He's like 30 feet away. I'm literally walking towards the exit of the building to walk outside to the truck, because I'm supposed to be asleep already. He chases me down to tell me that he is on the phone with his boss, and nanny boo boo, his boss said that we can't load it. And I'm like, dude, it was a yes or no answer. If you'd have told me no, that would have been the fucking end of it, until maybe we could talk to the paperwork people about sorting stuff out. I knew we were super early. I'm just trying to get home because it's my kid's birthday. And if we could have got loaded, we could have been back at our terminal and unloaded and be done. But this guy, oh man, he went out of his way to be a dick. So I got back to the terminal and I talked to my boss. He's like, "Well, do you want us to try to change the window times?" I was like, "No, we're fine with the window times. It'll probably get changed this upcoming month anyways." What I don't like is the fact the way he treated us. He's like, "What do you want me to do about it?" And I was like, "Call him or call his boss and let him know that it's inappropriate to treat us like that." He's like, "All right, done." Have I mentioned I love my boss? And he's the type too. I mean, he's retired military, so he knows where I'm coming from with this. And the fact that I was like visibly pissed the fuck off, even talking to him about it, he's like, "Yeah, you do seem a little uptight about it." And I was like, "You think?"
Well, I mean, some people think that just think or assume that truck drivers are like uneducated assholes.
Some people like to think that dock managers are uneducated assholes. Too bad they just prove themselves to be. Oh my god. Yeah, it was like seriously, it was a yes or no question. And I got a lecture and talked down to. If he'd have said no, there's nothing they can do, then we'd have waited till the morning and talked to the paperwork people to see if there's something we can work out.
Hi, cat. She's purring like right into the mic.
I hear her. But yeah, so that was my day. It's just so freaking infuriating.
Dude, my sinuses are acting up so bad.
Same. I feel like I swallowed a cactus. And the sad thing is, I live nowhere near you.
Mm-hmm. Well, mine was because I went from humid to dry, so I'm like trying to, and I traveled, so I'm trying to fend off like a sinus infection. It's just not pretty.
Yeah, we have that problem too, because the places that we travel, they change seasons differently. Like up in Maine, It hits spring and fall earlier, so we'll constantly drive from like summer to fall, and it screws with your sinuses. So is there any new Kickstarters on your radar? Or are you taking a break from them?
There's a couple new ones. There's one that's going to be... I don't know if I have to... I probably won't talk about it till next time, actually. Yeah, so there's a super secret thing going on, apparently.
A super secret thing?
Yes.
Okay. Is this something that I would know about?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yes.
Wait. Oh, yes, you know about it. I messaged it to...
With the twitching and the stuff.
Twitching and the stuff. You'll have to remind me.
Yeah, we'll remind you later.
I just don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it or not. Yet.
Yeah, heaven forbid we hyped their Kickstarter a little early.
I guess. I mean, it's going to be talked about, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I asked him questions today, and he hasn't gotten back yet. But
we'll talk about it next time. If it hasn't launched, let's wait.
Okay.
Let's wait till it launches at least, or it's about within like days of launching. Because the bad thing about hyping it this early is people will forget about it.
Losing interest, yeah. What else? No, I don't think I've looked at other Kickstarters. I've been pretty busy with just work.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, I know, cool me or not, I think they've just wrapped up the expansion to
the green.
The green zombicide one.
Yeah, and they're getting ready to close their kick manager on their Rising Suns, I believe.
Yes.
No, I'm trying to finish my commissions is pretty much it right now.
I'm putting together Blood Bowl and just painting on some random miniatures and working on the Warhound every, here and there. I'm just trying to do me, just, I'm going to get my display case set up here soon.
That's why I've been kicking out a whole bunch of Malifaux. Because, one, I need them to get done, but two, I got a lot of miniatures to paint.
Mm-hmm. So. Oh, yes.
Well, that's been his, because he hasn't gotten into 8th. That's been his...
No, I played one game and got utterly trounced. So
Still more than I've played.
But that's been his go-to game lately, Malifaux.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, okay.
Which is why he did the henchman thing off of it.
So for people who don't know, my wife is the anti-gamer. She does not like gaming, and she doesn't see the miniatures and Magic the Gathering for being something worthwhile. So this is, so she
It was a big thing. It was a huge thing.
So she messages me. She kind of just, I moved down to the basement, and she'll come down every once in a while and talk with me, but this is my gaming area, so she doesn't bother me down here too much. She messages me 2 days ago, and she's like, "Hey, I'm heading to Hobby Lobby. Is there anything that you want me to pick up?" And I'm sitting there mind blown. It's like, my wife's going to Hobby Lobby and actually asked me if I wanted something. So it's like, you know what? Yes. I was like, I would like some more ink. And
artist ink.
Yeah, it's an artist acrylic ink by Dowler and
FW.
Right, FW. And so I was like, yes, I could use more inks, because I'm slowly trying to finish the entire line. I'm a little bit over halfway of owning all their inks. And I sent her my list. I was like, any of the inks on this list. And I sent her a picture of what the bottles look like. And that was it. Didn't tell her where in the store they were, even though I knew. Nothing. Because I was honestly expecting her to go, I couldn't find them, sorry. But she actually went and fucking found them and bought not one bottle, but bought me 2. I'm sitting there, I'm like, mind just blown, because my wife, like I said, my wife really does not like my painting hobby all that much. And for anybody who has a spouse that's not into their hobbies, for them to go and get you something in the hobby, that's a big effing deal. Especially since she actually had to go hunt for this stuff. Because I purposely kind of left it vague. So yeah, that was a big deal. That was a big deal. I really was happy with how, with that, probably more than people are like, wow, that's not that big a deal, Larry. You don't understand. So I was totally,
you don't.
Yeah. Kara bought me hobby stuff. That's not typical Kara. So yeah, it's kind of, it's kind of a big deal. What in the hell? I have a head labeled B, but
a body labeled C.
Okay. No, the directions for the Crusaders are a little bit different, because I will say one thing about the Blood Bowl teams. I've assembled 2 regular Blood Bowl teams. They have everything grouped. If you start on the sprue and you pull 1, 2, and 3, that's the head, the body, and the arm, or the head, the chest piece, and the legs that all go together. And then 4, 5, and 6, then 7, 8, and 9, then 10, 11, 12, so on and so forth. Through the entire sprue, they're all clustered in 3s. And it's been like that for the humans and the orcs so far, which has actually been really, really cool. It's been handy because you're able to easily put your, after you realize the pattern, you don't even have to look anymore. You know that these next 3 fit together. Well, with the Forge World team, since they're part plastic, part resin, they're labeled like body number 1 with head and torso B. And then torso number 5 with head and body C, which come to find out the B is for blitzer, the C is for catcher, and then they have T for thrower. And then they have the 3 different linemen L1, L2, and L3. It's not difficult. The guide is really easy to understand once you get into it. And there's like 2 different L3 heads. So you have one that has a helmet on and one that's bareheaded. So however you wanted to do it, you could have a barehead or you can have the one that has a helmet. So it was a little bit odd because I was so used to putting them together, like 1, 2, and 3 go together, and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's a little more difficult than back in the day when they were single piece resin, single piece pewter, because they were single piece. All you had to do was clean them up and paint them. But the details are just wow. Like you look at my. What are you laughing at? You laughing at me again?
The cat.
There's a piece of the cat's fur stuck to the chair, and she's staring at it like it doesn't belong.
Nice.
$450. $450.
For what?
Diva statue from Overwatch.
Holy shit. I think I saw that statue. That thing's $450?
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be hand sculpted and hand painted,
So, all right. I almost bought this. I found an Assassin's Creed Collector's Edition for, I think, the Xbox 360. I'm not sure. But it was the Collector's Edition, which meant it had the Assassin's Creed statue in it. And it was half off. And, it took every bit of willpower for me not to buy it.
With the statue? I don't think I've seen that before.
I believe it was Assassin's Creed. But it's a pretty nice looking statue.
Oh, I don't doubt that there's something like that exists. I just don't think I've ever seen anything like that. But I mean, there's been so many Assassin's Creed games that
I can't tell you which one it is. That's the bad thing. I can't go, it was the Assassin's Creed Collector's Edition for this. And it was really tempting to get because it was only $52 and it included the game. So I was like, but I don't have a PlayStation or an Xbox. So it's kind of like, well, doesn't make a lot of sense for me to get it unless I want to.
That's why you just go buy one so you can justify buying the game.
I really don't. Almost all the games that I play are on Nintendo. So.
Oh, speaking of that, did you see the next one that's coming out?
The Super Nintendo, the little mini Super Nintendo that has a game that's never been released before coming out on it. Yeah.
Sounds like you heard about it.
Yeah, Star Fox 2. That is going to... They said they're producing more units than they did of the original Nintendo. And they better, because people are going to buy the shit out of that just to get Star Fox 2. Even though it's $20 more than the Nintendo. And don't feed me a line of bullshit that it costs more to produce that thing. It didn't. It costs the same. And it has less games on it. It has like 10 less games or something on it. And costs $20 more. Maybe the controllers cost a couple dollars extra to produce. But yeah, they knew what they were doing. People have been clamoring for Star Fox 2 to come out forever. So.
Oh. Sorry, I just read the comments on the Geek Chic.
There's a lot of very upset people.
Like $5,000. Fuck.
Oh, you don't get those, huh?
Are you muted?
I haven't looked at my... No?
Oh, it just got really quiet. Yeah, there's a lot of upset. John Kulvik? He's the guy who does the comic. Damn. He draws a really famous comic book series and did Dork Tower. He's the artist behind Dork Tower. He actually he just bought one of their tables a month ago. Or should I rephrase that? He didn't buy one of their tables. He put a down payment on one of their tables. Because it takes like 6 months after you put a down payment for the table to come in, which hasn't been a problem until now. So now people have said that there's tables done sitting in their warehouse that might not get delivered, even though people have already paid for them. And that's one thing I don't understand is how the hell they were on Shark Pit and they did $2 million in sales, but still managed to lose $100,000. And my question is, how? Because their tables are fucking expensive. I mean, you're paying anywhere. The cheapest table you can buy from them is $1,600. The most expensive table you could buy from them is like $10,000. But they were always booked. Always. They always had people waiting for their stuff. So my question is how? How the hell?
Embezzlement?
Dude, I don't know. Someone mentioned something about they acquired a company that was in trouble and it brought them down too. I don't know. I don't know what company it is. I don't know what the scoop is or anything else like that. But that's a comment that I saw. I know John was talking about trying to get his money back. He's already contacted a lawyer because, I mean, it's $5,000. That's a substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
And he's not the only
Especially
one.
If it's just a down payment.
Yeah. Well, he might have paid his in full, but I'm not entirely sure. I just know that he paid $5,000 for his. And as of right now, the table's just gone. He'll know his hasn't even been started on.
That's insane.
Yeah. Now, going back to the wife buying me the thing, one little downside to that is someone had put back one of the bottles of ink in the wrong slot. So my wife thought she was buying me Purple Lake and she got me shimmering purple instead, which I actually already owned. But the cool part about it is, of all the colors that she could have possibly duplicated, it's probably my favorite color that FW makes. So it's like a pearlescent purple. It looks bad as hell. So I was like, I just had to start painting a lot of stuff purple.
I'm at that stage where things look like shit.
Oh yeah, the worst.
And there's so much more detail that I have to do that I'm just like, ah!
The worst stage of miniature painting. My model looks like shit right now.
Do more later.
I need to go on
back with your fresh eyes.
But I feel like I haven't done much on them today.
Yeah, an hour and a half into painting them. I haven't done anything on them yet.
Well, that's what it feels like right now, and I'm just like, oh.
Oh, I definitely get where you're coming from. I actually just finished up putting together the Crusaders. So, a little bit over an hour and a half, and I got them all done. And I'm sure I missed probably 20 different mold lines.
I think you'll find them when you prime.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm in the mold line stage of I need to prime them just so I can find the rest of the mold lines. And I've got some gaps to fill. Someone I follow online over on you, bitch.
On you, bitch.
No, I dropped one of the miniatures. Someone that I follow over on YouTube was complaining about miniature companies that cost a premium and you get them and they have gaps and everything else. Which, I don't know. To me, that's just part of miniatures. You know, dealing with gaps and stuff like that. That's just miniature building for me. But then literally later on that night puts out another article that's sponsored, key term there, that's sponsored about a company that he uses and how that they has to modify them. And then like halfway through this 10-minute long spiel goes, well, I really wish they could fix this problem. And I was like, how the hell in the morning are you going to release this huge rant about quality control about a company, and then you do a sponsored video that specifically, the entire video is how to fix a quality control problem of the sponsored stuff, which I have no problem with. I've done videos like that before. I just find it very hypocritical that you're going to talk about a company's QC issues and then do a sponsored video on how to fix another company's QC issues. And then mention it in passing like, but I do wish they would fix this problem. But until then, you have to buy all this stuff to do to this product to make it better. I was like, oh my God.
Larry, it's sponsored.
Exactly. I don't care.
This is why we're not.
I don't care. No, I get people to send me stuff, and I don't care. If
but
Andrew,
it's not a sponsorship for us.
Well, no, okay. So Andrews Miniatures sent me a big bundle of product, and I if I think their paint sucks, I'm going to say their paint sucks. It's as simple as that. I'm going to watch their DVD and I'm going to give an honest critique. I love their miniatures. I can't say stuff bad about their miniatures because their miniatures are really awesome. But the other stuff that they sent me, if I don't like it, I'm going to say I don't like it. I'm not going to gloss over the fact that, oh, it's okay and this is how you fix it and da-da-da-da-da. And it's not even the fact that he made a video on how to fix something. It was the fact that it came the same day as a video of him bitching about another company's quality control. I don't care if you're sponsored and you're sponsored to the point where they have your balls in a vice so hard that you can't give an honest critique about a product, then honestly, people shouldn't listen to you. Your reviews shouldn't be listened to, especially the sponsored ones. You know, if you see something that goes, this is sponsored content. If you can't come down on the people who sponsor you as hard as the people that don't, then why should we trust what you have to say about them? Don't tell me they're fucking good because you're paid to say that they're good. But speaking of paint, I'm actually working a year and a half after the original article. I've started the second What's in a Bottle. And I promise that that's actually probably what I'm going to be working on. And I'm going to go over all the different paint lines and do comparisons and all that good stuff.
Has it really been a year and a half?
Oh, yeah. Since I did Watercolors? Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. That's what I said, too. I was like, whoa, I probably should get on to the second one. I'm doing Citadel right now. And holy fuck, does Citadel have a lot of paints. I did not realize how wide their product line has expanded. Holy shit. I thought Vallejo had the biggest paint line. I honestly don't think they do anymore. I think Citadel might. But I'm trying to come up with a couple tests to show a few things. And like viscosity. I want to show the paint's viscosity. And I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe setting up a piece of plastic card at like a 45-degree angle and putting a drop of paint at the very top. And watch how far it rolls down to show how thick or thin the paints are. I don't know, painters. Y'all who are listening to this, y'all are painters. What would you like to see in a comparison for paints? If I'm going to do stuff like how viscous the paint is and everything else, what would you like to see? Would you like to see how far paint runs down a wall or down a slope? Or is it, I don't know. Let me know. Message me. Let me know. Because I want to know. I do my reviews and my tutorials and all this other stuff for you guys. So let me know what you want to see in these massive things. Because eventually I want to get around to every paint line. Everywhere for Andreas Miniatures to Reaper to Watercolors to GW to P3, all of these guys. So let me know, what is it you want to see in these comparison tests?
You're killing me, Brush. You're killing me.
I hate when that happens. When your brush is just...
You're killing me, Smalls.
I just hate it when your brush isn't operating properly.
Takes like 4 more times the effort than when it operates properly.
Isn't that how it always goes, though? I'm actually tempted to try to hunt down on the Bits website some legs for the humans. Because I have chest pieces and head pieces for an entire human team. I just don't have any legs. But do you guys have anything else that you would like to say?
No.
Because like I said, it feels like I swallowed a cactus and my throat's starting to really hurt. So
if you're in Vegas and you're looking for insurance, let me know. Or even if you're not looking for insurance, let me quote you.
Do you get credit for putting out quotes?
No, it might help. Who knows, if it's cheaper or if you like me better than your current agent, maybe you'll switch to me.
She's a gamer girl.
I am.
So, everyone, thank you for tuning in to Models Workshop After Hours, where we're here for you. Thank you for listening to our little rant on GW and all the stuff that's been going on. Hopefully, you've been able to take this time to knock out some really cool projects. If you want to show off your projects, head up over to the Models Workshop discussion group. You can just type it in the search bar and it'll pop up. I've also heard that if you go to facebook.com/the Models Workshop, it'll actually have a link to our discussion group as well. Head over there, post up what you're working on. Be like, hey, I was listening to the podcast. This is what I got done. We like seeing that. Seriously, we do. we really love seeing the stuff that you're doing while you're listening to the podcast. That's kind of what...
And if you want CNC, just let us know and we'll go to town on it for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you want critique, now don't come here. You better get some tucks. I'm warning you right now. No butt hurt. But if you want honest critiques, just let us know. We'll break it down for you. And we'll tell you what it is. You know. But we try to be fair and we try to be level appropriate too. So if you're new, we're not going to flood you with you need non-metallic metallics right there. But thank you for tuning in. We love doing this for you guys. You know, you're the reason why we do it. And if there's something you would like us to do, hit us up. Let us know. We're always open to new ideas. But thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for another great episode of Models Workshop After Hours, your one-stop podcast for laughs and great painting advice. We come out at least every other week, barring emergencies and holidays, of course, covering a wide variety of hobby topics and basically talking about life in general. When you're not listening to us through your favorite podcatcher, you can find the entire crew hanging out at facebook.com/The Models Workshop. That's all one word smushed together, sharing all the cool things that we find floating around the internet and giving out painting advice. You can also find Larry on Twitter and Instagram at MWAH Podcast, and Yeji and Clint at the same at Snickernack, which is NICKERNACK. If you like what we do, please make sure to drop a quick review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or whatever service you listen to us on. This helps us out greatly and gets the word of the After Hours out to everyone. Models Workshop is done out of pocket. We have no advertisers because we like to be able to be completely truthful with you. If you want to make a donation to help us out, you can at paypal.me/Models Workshop, or you can do a monthly service at patreon.com/Models Workshop. Once again, thank you for listening. Until next time, grab those brushes, paints, and get to painting.